What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of, well, not really indie games, but in the world of video games, we're going to be checking out Single Player Tarkov. And this is actually one of those very rare videos where I have an opinion about what's going on. And so we're going to check out Single Player Tarkov. And as you saw from the title of the video, you don't have to pay $250 in order to play Single Player Tarkov. You can go download it from the mod site right now, and you can just do that if you already own Escape From Tarkov. So a little bit of backstory here. Escape From Tarkov is probably one of the most immersive gun-building, survival RPG, looter-shooters, tactical military sims out there. There are very few people that have not heard about this game or who are not aware of it. It went crazy viral a long time ago, and ever since then it has rode that wave of sentiment to financial success. However, along the way, the company that develops the game, Battlestate Games, has made a number of mistakes, and their heading has been kind of strange. And so, coming from my perspective, as someone that used to be an Escape From Tarkov streamer circa 2017, 2018, I think when I first started playing Escape From Tarkov, I think I'm actually doing live commentary right now while playing the game because that's just how I like to run my operation. But as I was saying, I used to be a Tarkov streamer back when this game only had factory and customs. I think like 3-day factory, custom, and woods, and I think like 3 days after I started playing Tarkov, they patched to put shoreline in the game. Did I get him right there? I got him. He's hiding out in the bushes, but I was a little bit worried about it, dude. I used to be a Tarkov streamer back when the game was in its infancy, when it was first starting out. And I streamed it for years, actually probably 4 days a week. It's what I did for a good long time because I was a true believer in this game. But over the years, Battlestate Games has made a number of controversial decisions that ultimately led to me no longer playing Tarkov at all on the live servers. I kind of gave it up, stopped playing, didn't really enjoy myself anymore. I saw the trajectory that the game was headed on. I saw that like some of the decisions the company were making were sort of inching towards this line that I wasn't willing to cross. And so I went full variety, which is where I've been to this day. However, recently they have a controversy that they are embroiled in, wherein they have a number of different packages when you go to purchase this game that all give you different bonuses, and some of them are like inching closer to like pay to win, but ultimately a lot of it was kind of like plausibly deniable. It gave you a little bit of a head start, but at the end of the day, everything was unlockable inside of the game as you were playing. You could get it all yourself. Some people even liked that grind. For example, when I'm playing Single Player Tarkov, I always go 0 to hero, even though I'm an owner of the EOD edition going back to 2018. But recently they released a new package that removed a bunch of the bonuses from EOD and added them into a higher-up package that costs more money, and there are a bunch of things in the higher-up package, the $250 package, the Unheard edition, that are definitely kind of, well, not even kind of, they are definitely pay to win. And so there's a number of people taking to the internet. I might be a little bit late with this video. I don't really have a Tarkov channel, so I don't know exactly how this video is going to be received. I'd be surprised if anybody actually watched it, but I'm just going to put it out there that you don't need to pay $250 in order to get a single-player Tarkov experience. The Unheard of edition, the main catch there is that you get a bunch of bonuses in-game, but you also unlock a co-op and single-player mode that is playable, and they want $250 for it, when, in my opinion, this should just be a core baseline feature that is packaged into every single edition of the game. $250 is an especially egregious price. I think this video would be a lot more difficult to make if they had just been like, oh yeah, it's a $10 add-on. If you pay $10, you can play single-player Tarkov, and we've got it networked up so that you can play with your friends. Unfortunately, they decided to package that up for $250, and the elephant in the room that you can look at right now is that what I'm playing on your screen at the moment is a single-player mod for Escape From Tarkov. It is free, it is incredibly easy to install, it's very enjoyable. Like, this game gets worlds better once you detach it from the servers over at Battlestate Games. And so this is, in my opinion, probably the quintessential way for you to play Escape From Tarkov if you're interested in a single-player experience. In the case of the game for a player like me, I've never been like a huge PvP guy. I probably have about 2,000, 3,000 hours on live. I honestly can't tell you how many hours I have on single-player Tarkov. I've been playing it for probably around 4 years, and before that I wasn't playing Tarkov at all. It was just this giant money pit that I had spent cash on that was just sitting inside my hard drive on my desktop that, like, I didn't really feel like dealing with Battlestate's shenanigans, and so ultimately I stopped playing the game. This allows you, if you already own the game, to put that software to good use. No matter what price point you bought into the game at, you can go download this right this second, and it piggybacks off of your game files, and it just runs a private server on your desktop that is like lossless. It has no latency, no lag, none of that stuff going on, and the game feels incredible in my opinion because of it. One of the big travails that Tarkov has always had to struggle with. Sorry, there's somebody on our right now, and I'm trying to hunt him down, but there's also somebody on my left. So I'm trying to be a little bit paranoid about not getting shot in the dingus right now. Is there anybody inside this little room? Nope. One of the big travails that Tarkov has always had to struggle with is the fact that their, oh my god, is the fact that their netcode is not altogether that good. There's lag, there's cheaters, there's hackers. There's so many of these problems that have all built up, from hackers directly removing objects from your inventory while you're in-game, to the egregious queue times. The people that own the game need an escape from all that nonsense, and I'm here to tell you that single-player Tarkov, I've been playing it for years without problems or issues, and it has solved every single one of those things for me, while at the same time offering you the opportunity to actually mod the game as well. Like the single-player Tarkov, it's got a website, and it's got a full modding area where people are working on conversion mods. They're working on things that adjust the game. They allow you to totally convert the game if you want. In the case of things like realism mod, you can turn the game into an actual hardcore stalker misery mode game if you want to. I am running modded right now because some of the mods are just too juicy to pass up on. You've got everything, for example, like when you run that private server on your computer, there's a mod called Server Value Modifier. And what does Server Value Modifier do? Server Value Modifier allows you to change anything and everything about the game. So if you've got like these little annoyances that have built up over the years, like there's these little gameplay aspects that you don't like about Escape from Tarkov that you wish would go away, you can actively do that now and just eliminate those mechanics. Or you can make the game even more hardcore. You can make it even more nasty by going down the modding path and making the game effectively a pseudo military tactical sim stalker misery mod or stalker gamma mod to make the game even harder and even nastier. They've got overhauls to the AI that you can install over there, because the scabs have always been kind of like geographically flexible turrets. They don't really act like human beings or do things that human beings would do. Well, that problem's been solved. You can now go in and you can install a mod called Sanes, for example, which makes the bots much smarter and play much more like humans and have much better aim and much better reaction times. And they respond to sounds and things that they hear on the map, and they come and investigate like a human would. Sometimes they squad up and they'll hit you in like a large group, or while playing through, the game also simulates other player characters that are playing in groups and things of that nature, so that you're still getting a pretty authentic Tarkov experience while saving yourself $250 and all the bullshit that goes along with dealing with Battlestate games on a daily basis. For example, one of the things that these overhauls do is the enemy will push you while you're healing. They will push you while you're looting. They will listen for sounds that indicate you're in a weak state, which is why I'm acting so paranoid right now, because we have a guy unaccounted for that I know is around here somewhere, and I can't seem to find the little bastard. Opportunities like this for me are actually kind of rare, because I'm an indie impressions guy. I play a lot of games on a weekly basis, and I have a daily turnaround on my content. And what that means is I very, very rarely have this situation where I have like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours played to be a requisite person to talk about a title or drama or anything else that's going on inside the industry at the moment. There's a guy right there. Man, he rickied my bullet off his helmet, dude. I'm rarely in a position where I can speak about a game like this, but I figured since the missteps that Battlestate has made lately are so particularly are so particularly egregious and like obnoxious and money grubbing that this was the time for me to step on in and vouch for a project that I believe in very much. Don't pay $250 for a single-player Tarkov experience. Now, obviously, there are going to be some caveats here. There is, unfortunately, no multiplayer inside of single-player Tarkov, as you may have guessed from the name. You're not going to be able to squad up with your friends. I have heard that there are certain mods that allow that, but unfortunately, Nikita over at Battlestate Games, that's the guy, the CEO that runs it, he said that he's okay with single-player Tarkov as long as they never integrate multiplayer. And so I've stayed like a long ways away from it because I like this project and I don't want it to get like deleted by a DMCA notice. In fact, I keep backups of various builds and also various Tarkov builds installed to hard drives so that if that ever happens, I can still continue to play this thing if it ever goes offline. But you aren't going to be able to do multiplayer. That's unfortunately the only difference between this single-player mod and the one that you can pay $250 for, which, in my opinion, as I said earlier, should have been like $10 and nobody would be complaining. They could have completely and totally avoided the shitstorm that they now currently find themselves in. I would have personally myself paid the $10 or $15 for like a single player add-on to Tarkov. I would have done that in a heartbeat because what can you buy for $10 or $15 nowadays? You can't even go to Taco Bell for $10 or $15. Unfortunately, they priced it at $250. So womp womp, what can you do about it? And the answer to that question, what can you actually do about it, is go play single-player Tarkov right now. Now, as I mentioned, you do have to already own the game for single-player Tarkov to work. What you need to do in order to get this game up and running is that you need to download Escape From Tarkov from the BSG website. Once you've done that, you fully update and patch it. You're going to go to the SPT website itself, and then with SPT ACI, that is single-player Tarkov, and I don't know what the AKI stands for at the end of it. But you're going to take that, you're going to download it, it's going to give you an executable, you're going to make a folder somewhere, you put the executable inside the folder, you run it, it's going to extract all the files it needs from your Tarkov installation, and then from there, it's going to patch it on up to the latest SPT version. Then the folder is going to populate itself. Once it's done, you just go into the Tarkov folder that you just made, you run the server, you wait till it gives you the green light. Literally, it gives you a green light after it does all of its runtime checks. And then you're going to run the launcher, hit play game, and you're ready to rock. It really is like back in the day when this mod first came out, you had to do a whole lot of file migrations. You had to follow steps. It was very similar to installing like a Tarkov. We got somebody swagging up on us. What's this guy want? It was very similar to installing something like Gamma, where it took a little while, and it took a little bit of effort, and it took a little bit of knowledge on how to navigate the file explorer. No longer. The game is really simple to get installed on your computer, so if you've got Escape From Tarkov just languishing away because you're tired of the hackers and the queue times and all that kind of stuff, just like me, it's not difficult to install. It takes probably about 5 minutes if you already have the game installed. It's very, very easy. And then from there, modding the game out is a little bit of file migration, but every single mod that's up on the SPT, I guess, workshop, it's all been virus scanned. It's all been looked at by the creator of SPT to make sure it's all copacetic and good to go. And then from there, you usually just have to you either have to drag in like the Bepinex folder, or you have to drag something to a folder inside the Tarkov single-player file that you made that says mods, and that's about it, and then you're good to go. From there, you've got like a little dashboard you can open right there. You can see it. That allows you to fiddle with all of your various mods. Right now, I'm not running like heavily modded, but I do have the AI modded. I do have some graphical changes installed, and then from there, I also have a whole bunch of tweaks to the game through my SVM server modifier, because through that little powerful tool, you can make this game do anything. You want to give yourself 10,000 health on every body part and basically be a walking god? Maybe you're disabled and have trouble playing reaction games like this, and you need to be able to soak a few more bullets to really experience the looting and the shooting? You can do that. This is a great thing for accessibility as well. If you don't like that keys have limited durability on them and they break every now and again, you can disable that. Anything and everything can be fiddled with inside SVM. All of the base components are still here. Everything about Live Tarkov is preserved inside of SPT except for other human beings. You can build up your base. This is a reasonably new save for me right here. I've actually got my good playthrough of SPT Aki where I'm like maxed out on everything in the living room, and I'm getting ready to do a reroll, but you can build out your hideout the exact same way that you would in a normal game so that you can produce bullets and ammo and armor and send guys out on missions to bring you stuff. All of the trader quests are still here. You can do all of them, and the existence of PMCs being simulated on the map allows you to do the PvP stuff that some people would be worried that you wouldn't be able to do. You've got all the normal progression here. It's effectively Tarkov Unchained, which is what I would have named. SPT Aki, it's hard to remember. You know what I mean? Like, I would have given it a little bit more bite. I would have called it like Tarkov Unchained or something like that, because you're unchaining yourself. This is Escape from Tarkov is such a good game, and Battlestate did such a good job with like the modeling and the animating and the lore and the universe and everything else, but they've just run the business into the ground as it stands right now with just terrible exploitative decisions that, like, I don't think any community would stand up for. Like, they've got things now in here along with the queue times and the hackers and everything else that would make a gacha game blush, and so that's what I would call it, Tarkov Unchained. You're playing the game unchained from lag. You're playing it unchained from netcode issues. You're playing it unchained from enormous queue times. You're playing it unchained from a $250 purchase that also gives you a bunch of OP nonsense inside the game that sort of breaks balance and makes you like way doper than everybody else playing, which should never be a thing inside a competitive title. So that's what kind of like inspired this video to take place, is it was like this rare intersection of like, oh shit, dude, that's a game that I used to play a ton and probably have, I hesitate, oh god, dude, I can't even estimate how many hours I have in this game at this point. Sorry, I had to hold my breath to shoot because I'm remedial. I can't even tell you how many hours I have in this game. And I gave it up because I wasn't tired of the game. I was tired of dealing with all the nonsense that surrounds playing the game on a day-to-day basis. Like, when you're no-lifing this game like I used to no-life this game, every single wipe, every single patch, every single everything. Aw, dude, he shot my leg off. It's kind of unfortunate. That's going to be a little bit of a hassle as we go forward. Sir, I feel guilty about saying this, but I'm glad that you're dead. You shot my leggy off, dude. That was my good leg, too. That was my favorite leg. On my 8th birthday, I decided that that was the best leg ever. And I decided that that was the leg that I was going to favor. And now I can favor it no longer. I guess I'll just take some painkillers. Get some weight off of it. He, like, single-handedly... Look, that's my blood on the wall right there. That's my blood on the wall. But if you're like me, where you just got tired of dealing with the nonsense that comes along with this game, while still loving the game itself, single-player Tarkov is a fantastic way to chill out and invest your time. Yeah, how do you like that? Get geeked, nerd. We got anybody else back here that wants the smoke? I need to pick up some more painkillers off of somebody in here if we're going to run this raid to its full. And so it's at this point that I digress. Do not deprive yourself of $250 in order to make a single-player Tarkov experience. Do not support that kind of bait-and-switch behavior from a developer. If you already own the game and you still want to play it, swap on over, man. Head on over to SPT and start playing the game, in my opinion, the best condition that it has ever been. From here on out, I'm just going to talk to the game because I'm going to talk about the game because I don't have, like, a Tarkov audience. I'm going to talk about Escape from Tarkov and what it is for anybody that's been watching this video kind of scratching their head being like, all right, so this isn't like the normal pixel games that you play. What's going on here? Escape from Tarkov is a PvPvE tactical milsim looter shooter RPG that's been out for quite some time. It takes a lot of the aspects that are beloved about something like, let's say, Stalker. It combines them with the sensibilities, gun modding of something like Arma, and then adds a whole bunch of other features to the mix in order to keep players up and competing with one another. It is a full loot game, so when you die, you drop everything on you unless it's inside of your loot container. Along the way, you're going to be collecting items to build up a bunker hideout that your military kind of mercenary character has just available to him. That will give you access to more services and more things that make your runs a little bit smoother or a little bit easier. From there, There are vendors and traders throughout this post-apocalyptic hellscape that have various services and weapons and items and things that they will sell you. You level them up by doing quests for them on the various maps, whether those quests be assassinations or gathering items for them so that they can stock up their bunkers, or helping them figure out what happened to a friend who disappeared around the time that the apocalypse happened. You've got all of those features on in there combined with absolutely fantastic. That was very loud, dude. I don't have my earmuffs on right now. Well, I do have earmuffs on, but they're not good enough. I'm kind of like limpy right now, dude, and it's making me feel a little bit nervous about this whole thing. And in my opinion, if you went back like 5 years ago, I would have told you, I was a true believer in this game. I would have told you that this is like the next evolution of first-person shooters. What's going on over here, dude? A dead guy? Is that what's going on right there? Oh no, dude! I made my suppressor all smoky and heaty. Let's close that real quick. I'm gonna try to get this guy's body real fast. And this is one of those games that has an intensity that's actually fairly difficult to replicate out there in the world of gaming. Like, there have been a lot of challengers. There have been a lot of games that want to be like Tarkov. But ultimately, the truth of the matter is, none of them quite feel like Tarkov in the same way. I don't know. I've tried a lot of the competitors. And in trying a lot of the competitors, trying to get off this game because I'm an addict, I always came up kind of disappointed. You know, everything from Cycle Frontier to you name it. I've tried all of them. I've played them all with my friends, and like all of them just kind of feel hollow compared to this game. So I was really disappointed with a lot of the business decisions that the company made over the years. Ended up stopped being a Tarkov streamer, moved over to Variety, which has actually worked out pretty well for me, in all honesty. But I've been back to streaming the game on the SPT. What is this guy doing? All right. Oh, there's somebody right there. I see his little flashlight. I'm gonna have to, yeah, dude, hit me with the opioids. Let's feel it in my bones. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready for that horse. All right, let me drink some water real quick. There we go. Water's been drunk. Probably actually just, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm probably gonna have to run another morphine in just a minute. But I needs my Gatorade, bro. I needs my Gatorade. Pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice is expensive as hell in real life. It's pricey. They have it. Oh, I see him. I don't know if I got him. I'll put a couple more across the starboard flank right there just to see if I can get him. Anybody in here? Sometimes the AI likes to camp out in here. Some things are the exact same as Escape from Tarkov, whether you play them single player or not. And the AI liking to camp out in here, I gotta pack some mags, dude. My mag well's running dry right now. I've been shooting a lot of bullets and ending a lot of lives and causing a lot of tears. Right as I finish packing, it sounds like we have friends coming down the line. But this is one of those rare situations where I have the applicable knowledge to actually talk about something and probably relieve a little bit of pain in people's lives in losing a game that they believe in or a game that they're excited about. Single Player Tarkov is exactly that title. So I don't really have any idea if anybody's actually going to watch this video. Tarkov content is pretty far outside the range of what I normally do. I'm not Deadly Slob, I'm not Pestily, I'm not Veritas, I'm not any of those guys. But I have been quietly playing the game now for approaching a decade. I mean, a long way there, probably 6 or 7 years, on the backside of 5 years anyways. And so this is one of those games that I was very passionate about, and I think 3 or 4 years ago when I found out about SPT Aki and it was like fully in development doing its thing, I got very excited about that prospect because for me the PvP was always something that I tolerated in order to get after like the RPG and the gun building and the intensity of looting and shooting and raking people with gunfire. And so SPT Aki has solved a lot of that stress for me, and it's unhooked me from having to put up with BSG's nonsense. It's one of those things that, for me personally, has been a tremendous source of joy in my life. I think the game feels absolutely fantastic once you unhook it from the servers and you make it latency lossless effectively, because you've got 0 MS running to your own computer. It feels snappy, it feels tight, it feels awesome. So if you've got Escape from Tarkov already and you're deciding to hang it up because you don't want to deal with the developers' nonsense anymore, or maybe you've gotten tired of the hackers or the queue times or whatever else, this is just a video showing solidarity with all the other content creators that are calling out Battlestate Games on their nonsense and being like, this is unacceptable. And it's letting you know I've been playing SPT Aki for years. I've never had a single problem. I've never had a single bug except for once I started fiddling with game files and whatnot, and that was my fault. The thing runs flawlessly. It runs great. Everything is tacked down. The developer is just one guy who's doing this like out of his garage effectively and doing a really, really good job with it. I urge him to keep it on up. You are bringing a lot of joy to people's lives by allowing them to play a game that they thought that they would never play again, just out of kind of like outrage or whatever else. And so keep it on up, and thank you for what you're doing. For those of you that own Tarkov but may have hung it up, you can go play this right this second. I will vouch for the title. I will talk about how good it is. In fact, I think it's better than playing live. I feel like live is a great game, but all the pay to win and all of the weird controversial decisions they've done over the years have really added up to give me a level of spite towards the game that makes it disruptive to play. This comes with the full experience, but with none of that baggage attached. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day, so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were talking about SPT Aki, Single Player Tarkov, a fantastic little project that I hope you enjoyed this video on. I will see you all later. Take care, and that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.